I did the Ethernet wiring for my house all by myself. Encountered all sorts of Ethernet cable issues. I'm just a home user. I don't have the expensive professional hardware, the tool to detect cable issues. I have to rely on the device and its software. But unfortunately, Ubiquiti UniFi controller doesn't tell you the exact cable issue and the details. But in fact, it's very possible the information is available with your device, but somehow you have to use different ways, for example, a CLI to get them. In this video, let's discuss for different type of UniFi switches how you can get the cable details, cable lengths, or cable issues. First, let's take a look at Rackmount non-Pro UniFi switch. Keep in mind, I'm just using the devices I have, and they are all USW, the Gen 2 version, so maybe your switches work differently, but you can try whether the same approach work on your UniFi devices as well. In the left side, I'm showing you the USW24 PoE, which is the non-Pro PoE switch. And I have all sorts of surveillance cameras connected here. For these three parts, 19, 21, and 23, just for this video, I plug in three different sorts of cables, and let's check their status as well. They don't show up here because they either are in open status or they have different issues. And here I also have two SSP ports. Let's see whether we can even check their cable lengths as well. So in the right side, I have the terminal. Let me first SSH into the this UniFi switch. Because this is not a pro version, you cannot use the more formal CLI, but it does come with another approach, which is the CLI environment. You just type in command CLI and then you are in. As you can see, it's showing the pound sign, which means you are kind of root already. Then let me run this command. You want to show cable diagonals information, and you want to see the gigabit Ethernet interface information. And let's first see the port 1, right? In the left side, you can see it's normal, it's PoE. Okay, it's returning the status, and if you are familiar with Cisco switches, you may know all the different type of information already. For example, all the pair status or the pair A, B, C, D. Basically, they are the way to refer to the different color of pair of cables inside of your Ethernet cable. It's showing pair A and B, they are normal, they are working, they are in okay status. And here you can see the length already, and which is good. But the thing I don't understand is why for pair C and D is showing not supported. I don't understand. Maybe it's a surveillance camera. It's only 100 gigabit. That's why it's showing this way. I don't know. But if you know the answer, please let me know in the comments of this video. It seems for part 1 it's showing okay. And now let's show the part 19. As I just mentioned, for 19 and 21, 23, I did plug in 3 different cables. Let me first see the 19. So this time it's showing all 4 pair of status. It's showing the different lengths. They are very close, which means this cable is pretty fine. And here it's showing all different status. What I know is line driver. That means you connected to the device in the other end, but that device is not powered on. So keep in mind, for this particular switch, 8 right side ports, they are not PoE ports. They are just normal gigabit Ethernet. If the other side they are not powered on, they will show the line driver status. There's nothing wrong. It's okay status, right? I'm fine with that. But I don't understand is why for pair B it's showing open. Maybe in the other side, that particular device doesn't use pair B. That's why it's showing open. Again, if you know the answer, let me know, please. Let's move on to another part, which is 21. This is becoming more and more interesting. This cable is the one I got issue because when it is connected, it's showing 100 megabit, but I expect 1 gigabit because in the other side is another Ubiquiti switch, right? It does support 1 gigabit line in, but somehow it's showing 100 megabit. That means that cable has issues. Here it tells me what's the issue. So basically, see the length, pair length. For pair B and C, it's showing different lengths. That means at this position, this cable has the impedance mismatch issue. Impedance mismatch will introduce a lot of noises. That won't stop the cable from working, but it will impact the cable speed, which is exactly my issue. It only shows 100 megabit instead of 1 gigabit. I'm happy because just as this simple command, it tells me at which location and I have what type of issue. Then let's move on to the third testing cable. This is another issue, right? So basically, in the other end, it doesn't, it's not connected to any device yet. So I expect to see all open. But for pair C, at this location, it says short. So I have serious cable issue already. I need to resolve it. Okay, so for the 3 different Ethernet cable, it's telling me what's the cable length and what's the status. It's very useful command. And let me try this part. This is SFP plus. Let me see, 25. This is what it shows. It does return a status, but it simply says it's fiber, which means it doesn't have all the pair information. The switch simply doesn't tell you cable length information. Of course, it doesn't tell you the pair status information. So basically, for this particular switch, the CLI command simply doesn't tell you useful information for fiber for these 2 SFP part. We are done with the non-pro rack mount switch scenario. Now let's see for rack mounted Pro or Enterprise version whether you can see the cable length and cable status in the same way as we just observed. In the left side you see the PoE 24 part, but Enterprise version. I have multiple cables inserted already, and I also connected the SFP plus using stack cable. Now in the right side, let me SSH into this switch. Let me first try the same command that we just tried in another non-pro version. No, command not found. For this Pro or Enterprise version, you want to use the more formal CLI interface. The way you log into that is you use telnet to the server itself. Now you are in, but the initial or default mode is not the root mode, if you will. So to enable it, you want to say enable or en for short. Okay, see the command prompt is changed to £. Now it's in a dangerous mode, so carefully input your command. Now what we want to see is to show the cable status. The command is cable status. And then the first part is the slot. For this particular switch, I only have 1 slot, which is 0. and then followed by the port itself. As you can see in the left side, the port 1 is not plugged in. Let me try that one first. Status test failure is different than the other non-pro version. The non-pro version tells you more detailed information, but here it only tells you, okay, test failed. The reason is there's no cable at all, right? Then let me try the second cable, which is showing green here. Okay, it's showing normal, and it's showing the cable length. So it doesn't tell you the pair ABCD status. I'm fine with that. Let me try this part. I believe it's 26. Let's see whether cable status are supported or not. Let me use 26. Okay, it says invalid cable type, and it only supports copper cable. To display the fiber port status, you want to use another CLI command. I believe it's show fiber. Let me see the command. Show fiber ports. Okay. Show fiber ports. Oh, sorry, fiber ports. Yes. And fiber ports info. Optics info all. As you can see, it shows a lot of information, and it's telling me it's using DAC, and it does have 2 columns for length, but it's showing 0. Let's discuss in next section in details about the fiber part. So now this is pretty straightforward. It does have the cable status, cable length information for this enterprise version, but it doesn't have the detailed information as the non-pro version. It doesn't tell you the 4 pairs status separate. Now let's check the aggregations, which is what the system can return regarding cable status and cable length. In the left side, you can see we are checking the USW Pro aggregation. So this switch only has SFP plus and SFP28 part. It doesn't have the RJ45 and doesn't have copper. Let me see whether I can get any information. I doubt it, but let me try. In the right side, let me SSH into the switch. Okay, because this is a pro version, I assume it has the Telnet CLI interface. Okay, we are in. Enable. Yeah, everything looks good. Let me directly run cable status command first. Slot 0, I only have 1 slot. And let me try the first part, which is showing 10 here. Okay, interesting. It says invalid cable type. It only supports copper cable. Okay, it's a bummer. Then let me try the 31. As you can see, this is a 25 gigabit part. Let me see. Oh, what's the number again? Okay, 31. Okay, exact same error. It seems it doesn't matter what's the module you use. You can use fiber, or you can use RJ45 or DAC cable directly, but the information is the same because the part simply doesn't support this cable status command. And let me try whether we have other way to get anything. Let me try show command. No, let me try show what. Okay, here you see it has fiber ports option. Okay, interesting. Let me try fiber ports. So let me use the optics info option. I believe the first option, optics, is to do the diagonals itself, but let me directly display the information. It's a very impressive results. Here it shows all of the modules I inserted already. You can see some of them are Ubiquiti, some of them are Intel, and I have several OEM and several different brands and Dell, and you can see whether they are DAC cable or they are RJ45 or whether they are fiber. Okay, interesting. But maybe for this video, what we are really interested in is these two columns. This 62.5 is for the so-called OM1 fiber cable, the orange one. I know I am using OM3, which is the blue or aqua color. It's 50 here, but 50 can also mean OM2, which is also orange. So because here all of them are showing 0, even though I am using some OM3 fiber, but they don't show length, I assume this column is for OM1 fiber. This one is for OM2, but maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, my fiber length is not displayed here. That's disappointing. So all of them are showing 0. Interesting result. I can get some information, but unfortunately I don't get the cable length even for my fiber. Apparently for DAC cable, it doesn't return anything. So basically I cannot get cable length information at all at this moment. Maybe I'm doing something wrong, I'm not sure, but that's all I can get at this moment. It seems for aggregation switch, the cable diagonals and cable information are implemented totally differently. Interesting. Now let's switch to other devices, for example some desktop switches instead of rack mount switch. Now let's test the cable status for some non-rack mounted switches. For this section, the situation is a little bit complicated because Ubiquiti has so many different small switches. They all have different ways to check cable status. So let's start with a XG version. XG basically means 10 gigabit, and it has 4 10 gigabit RJ45 and 1 gigabit RJ45. I'm showing you in the left side of the current cable status. I have 3 Ethernet cable plugged in. Now let me SS into this switch. Because this is XG version, I suppose Ubiquiti support the more formal CLI. Let me try it first. Telnet localhost. For some reason, the system just cannot complete the command. Let me try enter. Yeah, now we are good. Now let me enable. This is not a good sign. It says unrecognized command, but prompt is already pound sign. Maybe for this small switch, you simply don't need to switch to the enable mode. Let me try the same cable. Okay, there's no such command. I wanted to use a cable status command. It doesn't support it. Then let me try show command. It does have a command for cable diagnostics. Let me try it. Show cable diagnostic. Then first option is cable length. Let me try it. Show cable status, cable length. Then what else? Okay, interface. Then let me try interface. I believe for the 10 gigabit it should be XG. Let me validate it. Yes, GE is short for gigabit. XG is short for 10 gigabit. Let me try XG first. Okay, so I have to specify the port number one by one. Let me try this. Let me remove the options. Simply say cable length. Okay, does return all the file paths. Interestingly, for the first part in the left side, you can see it's green, it's in good situation, but here it says not supported. So I believe that means for this particular switch, the 1 gigabit uplink part, it doesn't support the cable status command. And for the other 4 ports, let's validate them one by one. For the first port, I'm showing here in the left side, it's uplink, it's 10 gigabit. Here it says, wow, it says because it's too fast. And for this type of speed, the cable length is not supported. Okay, it's disappointing. And then for the third green one, let's see. Yeah, it's useless information because now I know I'm using a short cable and it's about 1 meter. I believe here 50, the unit of measure is meter, if I'm not wrong. So basically this information is useless. Another disappointing result. Well, let me try. It seems this switch has many new features, even though the results are not satisfying. Let me see what else I have. Okay, I see a diagnose command. That's promising. Let me see. For test, what I can do. Okay, perfect. Cable diagnostic. That's what I want. Okay, TDR. What else? Interface. Okay, let me try the 10 gigabit port first. I believe I need to specify the port number. Let me try the third one, which is this green one. Okay, it shows the condition is good, even though it doesn't return cable length. And then let me try the first 1 gigabit port. Interesting. It says port test failed. Even though I know this part is working fine, even from UniFi controller, you can see it's green, it's working perfectly. But the diagnose means port test failed. I believe what it really means is that this part is not supported. I believe that's what it means. But after I run the test, let me go back to see whether the cable length information is updated or not. Exact same information for the third part. I remember I just tested, it's testing fine, but here it's still showing less than 50. It's useless information. So basically for this XG USW Flex SG switch is a pretty new product. Apparently Ubiquiti tried to add some new features to the CLI, but for some reason the results are not very good. Maybe Ubiquiti still enhance it. Let's hope so. I plan to show several other small switches, for example, USW Flex and US 8 PoE 60 watts, for example. But it turned out that the CLI works differently in each model. So I don't want to make a super long video. I don't want to waste your time. But basically, if you are interested, go to SSH and try either CLI or Telnet. Let's see what you can get. So for some models, I can get very good, useful information, but some models, the results are simply garbage. Let's see what you can get. If you have any comments about whether I did anything wrong, please put in the comments area. Thank you.